Hello, Education 1301. Here is your week 6 explanation. We're going to be looking at the culture of schooling and diversity. Now, 2301, you're going to dive into different types of special populations that we can focus on to make sure everyone has a level playing field. This is going to be a broad look at diversity, but we're looking at language, gender, socioeconomic, ethics, and disability-based academic diversity and equity. We'll talk about some of them this week and some of them next week. So there's going to be a Module 6 quiz. You have a behavioral objectives activity, and then we have a discussion, and it's about an ethical dilemma that you will encounter. So here we're going to be looking at language. Besides English, the next language that is most often spoken is Spanish. So dual language programs. Next is a look at ethnicity. And so a lot of this goes back to looking at testing scores, and certain populations are consistently testing below others. And so this starts looking at ethnicity. So this is the danger of the single story. She does a beautiful job about taking in perspectives of other people. Why black girls are targeted for punishment at school. This one's over socioeconomic status. And so he looks at it from a large district perspective. Here's some impacts of early childhood poverty, intergenerational poverty, and the long-term outcomes. This one, of all of them, this one is the one that always makes me, I enjoy the challenge this one gives me the most. So, and she offers some clear ways in which we can offer a more level playing field. And so I really enjoy her perspective on it. They're all amazing videos, which is why they're there. So that looks at language, socioeconomic status, and ethnicity. This is going to be more teaching content material. This is Bloom's activities. So there's different levels of thinking. Sometimes my computer gets away from me. There's different levels of thinking. And so if I ask you, when did Christopher Columbus sail the ocean blue? That's just a quick remembering fact, as opposed to having two artworks and you have to evaluate them aesthetically. That's a lot more challenging. And so a lot of times schools spend a lot of time on these lower level thinking skills instead of the upper level thinking skills. Now we need all of them. We need to be able to remember and understand concepts so that we can use them up here in the higher ordered thinking skills. So this is an activity for you to do. So you're going to put, so for example, for this one, which one is going to be the easiest one? And it's going to be remembering. So then the next slide has it like that. Then there are questions that match, and then there's activities. So it gives you a little bit of practice on it. Next is the Module 6 quiz over all this material. Then we have the discussion, which is good for the team ethical dilemma. So it's about a boy named Bruce. It's a small town. He is the oldest male in his family. He plays football. He has a chance at a scholarship. He's been trying in history, which you teach. And it is the last day of school at the end of the day. So when you think about that, there's a lot of ideas. You're like, oh, well, I could do this or I could do this. But think about it. This is the last day at school at the end of the day. What can you do and what will you do? Then you have your behavioral objectives activity. So this is writing behavioral objectives. And what behavioral objectives are, they are things that we can see children doing. How do I know that you learned all the capitals? How do I know that you know the stages of the water cycle? Okay, there's 3 parts to it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take these 4, and I'll tell you none of them are correct, and you're going to rewrite them into student behavior objectives, okay? Because you can't see anybody teach. Well, you can, but that'll give you a clue right here. You can't see somebody learn, and you can't see anybody understand, and you can't see anybody know. They are physically doing something to let you know that they know. So that's what this is going to be, to start practicing looking at behavioral objectives. And so this is your week 6 explanation, and I look forward to your solutions for Bruce on the discussion board.